Good day and welcome to another fantastic edition of 360 Sports. Definitely will be an exciting time on the show today. Actually, looking at one particular sport that has been developing in Nigeria. This is a sport that a lot of people tend to target as an expensive sport. But I'll be speaking with the president of Nigerian Fencing Federation, Adeyinka Samuel, who is going to tell us a lot about fencing. It's good to have you in the studio. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. We only wish that one of the days you will be with us in the studio. But let's now go straight to fencing. Before you are an athlete, you've said you represented Nigeria at the Common World Championship and all that. What has fencing been before you as an athlete, before you became an administrator of the sport?
Being a new sport in Nigeria, which fencing is still fairly new, there wasn't a lot regards to the development. We've had, prior to me, there were two presidents um, who had tried to develop it in their own capacity. They didn't know that much about the sport. We had one or two fences in Nigeria, but most of the representation was between myself. There was another lady, Jackie Ezimaje, who actually was one of the people that introduced me into the sport, who was also fencing at a very high and competitive level, similar to myself. So it was really just the two of us representing Nigeria and seeing how we could fly the flag internationally.
So now, so far, so good. Now, you an athlete, a lot of people didn't even give you, or rather, give the sport so much attention, even in as much as the fact that you're representing the country in international championship. Why did it have to take so long for us to be talking about fencing in this part of our world?
Largely, I would boil it down to the lack of awareness. There wasn't a lot of awareness of fencing in Nigeria at the time I was representing Nigeria. Even though I would like to say that we, on the international, or as an athlete, we were doing well. Then Jackie, I know she even qualified for the Olympics, and it was such a big deal because she was literally the only African that qualified for the Olympics. Myself, as an athlete, I've been to two Commonwealth Championships, as you said, several international tournaments, world championships, and I'd won over 30 international medals, several golds. And at a point, I was actually the highest world ranked fencer because I lived in the UK. I was the highest world ranked fencer in the UK at a point. But regardless, we didn't have that recognition. And I think it was mostly down to the fact that there wasn't a lot of awareness of the sport in Nigeria. And so people didn't really recognize it.
Okay, you would have also decided to just continue with your life outside fencing, but we have it on record that you decided to build a sport. What's the link in the motivation? Because you also mentioned Jackie. I'm sure she has contributed in a way, but you also have the option of also not contributing into fencing or being a fencer or an administrator after you retired. So, why did you decide to continue promoting fencing in the country?
Um, to me, I'd really just say passion. This is a very good question because, with the challenges that we come across and challenges that I personally have faced in developing this sport in Nigeria, they are enough for me to say, I throw in the towel and, why do all this? Because the fact is, it's not really lucrative for me. It's not like I'm making money off of it, and you know, I run my own businesses as well in addition. Um, but it's really down to passion. I think for me, when you're created for something, this is what I was created to do. There's no doubt. Everywhere I've been, everyone has known me for this. Even when I worked full time, I've worked in previous companies that I've worked in. At the point I was an athlete, they sponsored me, even the company, international companies. Even when I've grown my own businesses, I still focus on developing the sport. So, when people ask me, what do you do full time? Because of the amount of energy and effort that we do, and they ask me, do you develop the sport of fencing full time? I say yes. And in addition to doing other jobs and running my businesses full time. So for me, it's really passion. It's definitely what I was created for. And that's where I find the strength from, and really down to God.
Interesting. I'm sure the challenges will be more than what you said, especially the fact that the sport ministry, that's Nigerian sport ministry, also have rules and orders you need to really go through before you can be recognized. So, what are the supports and the hindrances that you faced while collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport to enable this be a federation? Because there are other sports that are yet to be a federation, but fencing is a federation. So, what challenges or what positive did you get from that?
I think when I became president, I think one of the things for me was really to focus on the development of the sport, and really see how we can move it forward, regardless of whatever challenges that came my way. And I think that's really what has kept us going. We do the Ministry of Sports is aware of our achievements. They're fully aware of the things that we're doing. We're recognized by the Nigerian Olympic Committee, because it's a requirement to be affiliated with the international body. And we go to all the big international tournaments. Last Olympics, we narrowly missed out on the Olympics by 1 point. Our athletes lost 15-14 to Algeria in the finals, and that's how we missed out on the Olympics. But we're making great strides, and we're really going ahead, and we work with the different states. So one of the states where we work very closely with Lagos State Sports Commission, very supportive, and all the tournaments we've done, they have supported us.
Okay, interesting. Now, with years of talking and a bit of writing about fencing, I've seen the sport that seems it's to me, my opinion might be it's for the educated or the elite person, because that is where I see most, even with the venues and where we do them, belongs to the high class in the society. Is that what fencing is? I mean, I have not seen a fencer from the main grassroots. I've not seen a fencer in Ajegunle. I've not seen a fencer in the low area, so to say, in the country. But I've seen a fencer from Ikoyi. I've seen a fencer from VI and all those top-notch places. Is it an elite sport?
Um, Fencing in its origin started off as an elite sport, and in modern fencing, what it became modern fencing now. But over the years, our just recently stepped down in his position as international president for fencing, Alicia Osmanov, has been very instrumental in the development of fencing across board, in developing countries like Nigeria, and to ensure that it reaches as many people as possible. And we in Nigeria have also taken on that stride to ensure that we make fencing available to everyone, regardless of class, age, gender, and give them accessibility to the sport. So, in regards to the hall, the venue, the last major tournaments we hosted three major international tournaments. I think the last one was at Lagos Continental Hotel. But prior to that, we had a tournament in Teslim Balogun. So we've had it at various venues. That's the first thing to address. Now, Regards to grassroots, we have programs. We work with Feed Sports Nigeria. It's an initiative that was created in 2018, and is to introduce fencing to as many grassroots communities as possible. And we've been very successful with that. We work with Suburb, and we've introduced fencing to over 3,000 students, grassroots, with access to over 12,000 students in one local government area. Currently, we set up a hub in Lagos Island, and that's the hub that gives us access to 12,000 students, and we train over 200 students. Out of these students, weekly, out of these 200 students trained weekly, we offered sports scholarships to, at the moment, eight,
Okay.
into private schools, and giving others opportunities as well. So we are also in the grassroots. We're very involved in that because that's really where the talent comes from.
Interesting. And I know from experience that some sports go through grassroots either through the education system or the community based system. There's some sport that when you get to the community, that's when you introduce it. There's some that it has to go through the education system to grab them, whatever way. But what do you think it will be best for fencing in peculiarity with Nigeria? What best way do you think they can introduce fencing? Is it go through the community or just go through the education system to achieve the best result?
Um, is this specific to the grassroots? Is that
Yes,
is that your
yes,
question?
yes. Specific to the
Um,
grassroots.
okay, specific to the grassroots. Now, I think education is key. I think education and sports go hand in hand. I know a lot of top athletes that are, I'd say, A class, A students, and as well top some of the best fencers in the world. So I think they go hand in hand because they give you that balance, especially from a young age, and you're able to cope with certain things. So education and sports, where possible, is always key to go hand in hand and have them as a deal or a package that we give out. Grassroots, of course, is key for us because what you tend to find is that you find that the children are more eager. They want to learn. It's an opportunity for them to move, maybe out of the impoverished environment that they are. Is an opportunity for them to mix, and increase their network as well, which gives them better opportunities in life. And so where you combine both, for me, I think it's good and it's important to combine both, because even as you're introducing it to the grassroots, fencing is not like football that one day you become a top football player, and then you are earning millions and millions of dollars. That's not where fencing is at this stage. Hopefully, we get there. But one of the incentives we're trying to do is introduce cash money. So even with our competitions, we try to introduce cash money, cash prize, sorry, to attract people. But education is also key because they can see that as a platform to get out of the environment that they're in.
Okay, well, so thank you very much. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, there are many questions we still need to ask you because we know that we'll be getting more reaction. Yes, that the president of Nigerian Fencing Federation, Adeyinka Samuel, who has really changed the face of fencing in Nigeria. We go for this quick. When we come back, we'll give you more on fencing. Yes, yeah, welcome back. We're talking to the president of Nigerian Fencing Federation, Adeyinka Samuel, who to me is the cardinal point of why we are talking fencing right now. For his development as an athlete, for his innovations he has contributed to fencing, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. Now, over the weekend, in consideration to World Fencing Day, we had an event at the Lagos Continental Hotel. That is a first-class international tournament where we had Togo and perhaps some countries came Tell us how you're able to do this.
That tournament, it's in the scale of on the international level, it's called a satellite tournament. It's an international tournament and it's open to 155 countries. In the past, the tournaments we've had the rights to host were the African Championships, which were open to 33 countries. So for us, this was a major achievement, and the fact that we have the rights for it for the next 20 plus years. It's even a great achievement for us because it's part of one of the four cardinal points that we have within the federation. It's an opportunity to bring in international athletes, world class athletes. The event itself is geared to attract the best fencers in the world, and we've done that by having several incentives, making it a very prestige tournament. And including a cash incentive that has never been done before on a tournament of this magnitude. So I think we started off in the right way. I think that it only would grow, and we have so many years to learn and to continue to grow and develop from. But it was something that we were very eager to do because of the recognition we got internationally. We've achieved that successfully. And I think the impact as well that we can have on our local athletes, as well as inspiring the African athletes and neighboring African countries.
Are we at the stage where we can start comparing ourselves with other African countries? Because I know, and I stand to be corrected, that the North Africans, Egypt, I think, is one of the top fencing country in the continent. We are par with them, or what is our grade in comparison with other African countries when it comes to fencing?
Egypt in particular has developed fencing to a large extent because even if you look at the history of fencing, which started in 14th century, it started off in history in Egypt before it was taken by Europe and turned into what it is now, which is modern fencing. So they have a lot of history. They've had so many years to develop it. Are we where they are? No, we're not. We're still a long way. But what I will focus on is the rate at which we're developing. At least 3 years ago, Nigeria was highlighted as one of the fastest growing African nation in fencing. It's the rate at which we're growing that I'm more focused on because, we're at different stages. We were introduced to the sport at different years, times. And for us, we're just more focused on where we are. But focused on where we're going. But with regards to other countries, I'll say Nigeria has developed. We've done a lot. And
let's look at the West Africa sub-region. Sorry to cut you short, yes. But let's look at this West African sub-region. How much can we say we've done so far in comparing ourselves with others in the region?
Yeah, that's what I was actually leading to, because if you look at where we are in regards to this tournament, this particular satellite, apart from Nigeria being the only country in Africa hosting that with rights to host the satellite tournament, that's one major achievement. Even in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria is the only country that has rights to host an international tournament at the moment. So I think it goes a long way to show, especially when we have countries that have been in existence for so many years before us. When I talk about Senegal, when I talk about South Africa, and if we look at the African Championship that we had in 2022, where we were placed third, just behind Egypt and Algeria, ahead of South Africa and Senegal. So it shows where we are in terms of developing the sport and where our athletes are as well.
I would not leave without saying that the accessories seems to be one we need to talk about in getting our accessories. What can you say to make this accessory affordable, because I know it's expensive? what can you say about access to this cheap accessories in 2 minutes?
Um, we def we definitely need a lot of support. Without support, the sport can't be where we are. What I would appeal to people is that look at what we've been able to achieve with very little or nothing in terms of support. So I think that if we can get some support, be it financially, be it even just providing facilities, equipment that we can do, that we can use, it would go a long way. It means that we have more areas, more places to train people. It makes it more accessible to people that are interested. And then we can also travel for competitions and do more competitions as well. So we definitely need the support of the public
Thank you
and
very much,
organization.
Adinka Samuel. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
That's the president of Nigerian Fencing Federation, who've given us so much to know in the world of fencing. And for those watching us, thank you for watching today, and hopefully you can be part of the conversation as it continues on all our social media. And thank you for watching. I'm Mudashiru Shitu.